Good evening out there in podcast land, ladies and gentlemen. I am your humble host, Mr. Dennis Carroll, and this is another edition of Hunting the Shadows. I want to welcome you all in here tonight, and as we slowly gather in the grotto, it's a kind of a chilly, dark, kind of a rainy night out there. And we want to join around some of the table with some good conversation and good friends. Want to welcome you all in here tonight. Thank you so very much for being here and for supporting this channel as always. Hello, Wizard Moon, Midwest Night Watchers, the ever lovely Shiro, and Girl and her gong. Yeah, I always like Benny Hill too, by the way, Girl and her gong. And Joanne, and let's see who else we've got hiding in the room here. Come on out now. Let's see who we got. We got Tracy. Hello, Tracy. Good to have you here. All right. I'm checking to see if anybody else is checking in here. And it's been a long week, huh? We're halfway, though. We're halfway through we're all at the halfway mark, and it's always good. When you get to the halfway point, you can see where you've been and definitely where you're trying to go. Sort of like looking from the mountain or the hilltop there, definitely. That's one way to look at it. Hello let's see who we got here. Annie. Hello, Annie, and the Lantern Keeper. All right. Ida is in the house. Okay, everybody, Ada's here. Ursu, hello. Okay, we're starting to gather in here. Tonight, our topic is going to be how to protect yourself from the darkness. Now, I've talked about this before, but we kind of dealt with the spiritual aspects of this. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the physical things that you can do to protect yourself against spiritual darkness and the darkness in this world. You know, the Dark Collective, that's what I call them, the Dark Collective, the fallen angels. They are definitely in control of this world, folks, and they are going to make it rough on us to begin with, absolutely. Yes, I will be appearing tomorrow, that's correct, on Aquarius Rising, and tomorrow's subject is going to be, who is the false prophet? We'll be talking about the false prophet that is predicted in biblical prophecy. So you might want to be around to check that out. That'll be at 1 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay. 88 degrees tomorrow, huh? It's getting on up there. I tell you what, I don't know. Somebody flipped the switch and we're in summer all of a sudden. I was just getting used to spring. Bam. That's the way it goes. I just dropped a video for all the members out there. If you missed it, go back and check it out. You're going to really want to watch this. Hello, Bigfoot Dwarf. Good to have you here, brother. You're going to want to check this out because it was a good one. I'm talking about another one of my cases that I've never talked about before, and it's called The Visitation. Yes, I've done some alien hunting in my time. That's right. I'm an alien hunter, too, not just werewolves or vampires, okay? Not just ghosts and zombies. I hunt aliens too. Okay. So you might want to check this out. It's called The Visitation. And I dropped it just a few minutes ago. So it's on there when you want to go check it out. Absolutely. Yes, I've been hunting aliens for a long time too, folks. Absolutely. You know, I dabble in the UFOlogy stuff a good bit. So ever since I had my own visitation, you might say, of a UFO, things have really been on that. And I think, you know, since I've dealt with the Men in Black and I've, met with a lot of people and counseled a lot of people on there's abductions and all that. So I've always been deep in UFOlogy. Okay, oh yeah. And so you might want to go check it out when you get the chance. It's not long. But I will be telling about more cases in the future. So be ready for more videos on the Shadow Hunt Club. Thank you there, Girl on her Gong. She has gifted 10 more hunting memberships. Woo! She's hot and smoking hot tonight. All right. There you go. There's 10 lucky people going to get some free memberships here. Okay. Whoa. Go check it out. Thank you, Girl and her Gong. Thank you so much. We appreciate that, dear. Absolutely. And real awesome. Absolutely. Awesome sauce. That's right. Awesome sauce. Yep. But yeah, you gotta check it out so you get a chance. And now there's your membership, you get a chance. You got a membership, you got a chance to go check it out. I call it the visitation because it was very strange. And what I saw, I won't say anymore. I'll let you wait and see for yourself what you think. But I would like to get some feedback on this, okay? So when you watch it, let me know what you think and what you think may have been going on with that, okay? So check it out. But here we are, the middle of the week, sliding into the weekend here. And I watched another movie today. I knocked one out. It was a horror comedy called The Werewolves Within. And like I say, I would not spend any money on this movie, okay? This was a free movie. It's on Tubi, okay? It's kind of funny, but it's got the girl, I can't think of her name, the girl from the AT&T commercials. This is, I think, her first acting job. I hope it's her last. But anyway, she's kind of perky. I don't know about the acting. She's kind of perky to watch. But anyway, Werewolves Within. You can check it out if you want to laugh. It's kind of funny, but it was weird. It falls kind of flat though. It's not as funny as it could have been. But there you go. That's my review on it. I've got a special guest coming up for next week's Hunting the Shadows, okay? You're going to want to watch that next week. Miss Jessica Jones will be my guest next week, and we're going to be talking about psychic warfare. You do not want to miss this. Absolutely do not want to miss this one. It's going to be fantastic. So put that on your calendars for next week, okay? Hello, Philip. Good to have you here, huh? All right. Damaria has checked in. Bounty Hunting Bear has arrived. All right. Yes, this is Jessica's channel. And she and I did a great show on the Harbingers of Doom the other day. You need to go check that out. She had a good one with Barry today. Check that out. This is Jessica's channel. If I can get to come up. Well, they're wanting to move on me here. StreamYard and I do not see eye to eye sometimes. We never do not. We have a very uneasy alliance. There it is. There's Jessica's channel. Please go check that out if you get a chance. And she will be my guest next week on Hunting the Shadows. Psychic warfare. You have this is gonna blow your mind. Okay, what we got to talk about is gonna blow your mind right out of its socket here. Okay. So it's gonna be a fantastic show. So don't miss it. Be there or be square. And you don't want to be square, Daddy. You want to be hip. You want to be groovy. Hello, Russell. I sure can't wait. All right. Everything is groovy. Groovy. Yeah. We want to be groovy. We want to be cool. We don't want to be square, Daddy. You don't even know what I'm talking about. Most of you don't even know what I'm talking about. Gerald knows what a daddy is. What daddy is. I think Gerald was a beatnik once upon a time, a long time ago, actually. If you are square, you're not around. That's right. Everything's groovy. Yeah. You say that to young people today, they will look at you like you have lost your mind. You know, what in the world are you talking about? They just didn't know. They didn't have some fun things. That's right. No, Fonzie said it, did he? That's right. That's right, girl. They just didn't have fun times like we did. We had some great stuff back in the day, didn't we? We stayed out till it got dark, and we drank out of hose pipes. It didn't kill us. We rode our bicycles all over creation. We had a great time, didn't we not? We were the last great generation that knew how to spend their time and do stuff. Look at the way the grandmas dressed back then. Woo! They're grandmas now, but they were hot chicks back in the day. Oh, yeah. Yeah, the Gen Xers too. Yeah, Gen Xers did that as well. Yeah, but these guys nowadays, they don't know what they missed. They just don't know what they missed. But that's the way it goes. So tonight I'm going to be giving you some hints on what to do against the darkness out there, folks. Now, I've talked about this before. I've even done lectures on it, how to prepare and defense against the darkness. But now I want to talk about physical things you can do. And I want to tell you something, okay? Since I had that run-in with pure evil one night, and I'll have to tell that story one night, definitely. It still bothers me. It's kind of hard for me to tell that story because it really bothers me, okay? But I'm going to get it out one night. I'm going to tell the story on that. But ever since that night, ever since some other things that I've run into and encountered, I bless my home. I have it blessed and cleansed on a regular basis, once a month. Sometimes, if I feel it needs it, I'll do it even more than once a month, okay? It's better to be safe than sorry, my friends, no matter what. And we were talking about that day. As a matter of fact, somebody said that they're making a welcome mat now that says "Go away." Go away. That's a good one too. I just wouldn't put any mat out there just in case. You need to hide your key somewhere else. Okay, mats. Yeah, you don't need them. Anyway, the whole thing is, you would be surprised at what some of these things consider an invitation. Okay, so be very careful what you wish for. You just might get it. You never know. Be careful. Don't say I want some, because that happened to me with the that happened to me with a thing like years ago when I had that run in with the men in black, which almost cost me my life. I feel like without a doubt that's what really put the mojo on me, So I've been very cautious ever since then. Because there are some bad enemies out there that you got to be careful at. But as Jessica said before, and I have said it too on my show, we don't want to live in fear, but let's be smart. Let's not be scared. Let's be smart. And that's what this show is about tonight, being smart. And I'm going to give you some things to do that you can do physically to guard against darkness, okay? Now, I've talked about this before, about doing good deeds and thinking good thoughts and having positive attitude, and that is very important, okay? I don't want you to forget that, because that is very important, to have that positive attitude, have positive things in your life, have that positive mindset, pray daily, meditate daily, get in touch with your peace. I've talked about all this before in the past, and these are very important essentials that help you shield against the darkness, okay? But there are some physical things that you can do, okay, that the darkness doesn't like. Now, I want to mention one thing right off the bat here. Hello, Jason. I want to mention mirrors, okay? Now, I've talked about this before in the past, but it needs repeating again. And I'm getting old, okay? So if I repeat myself, it probably means you need to hear it more than once, all right? Anyway, I've talked about mirrors in the past. You can have little small hand mirrors, little small round stick-on mirrors that you can put in each window facing out of your house. This is a good deterrent against evil and dark spiritual energy, okay? You can put them facing out, shiny side out, and they will really do the good job. But you can also have plenty of mirrors in your house. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. If you don't want to be too vain about this, though, okay. There's nothing wrong with having mirrors in your house. I have tried to have a mirror in every room, but you do not want to cross mirrors. We've talked about that before. It's not a good idea to cross mirrors, okay? It's very important. Thank you for that sticker there, Russell. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that stickers. Thank you so much. But you don't want to cross mirrors. That's kind of making a portal like them. You don't want to do that. But it's good. I'm going to tell you why it's good to have mirrors in every room. Because we do know certain entities like vampires and certain other things, demons especially, hate mirrors. Okay. And that is going to add another layer of protection to your room if you've got a big mirror in it. Okay. But just don't cross them. But good. It's good to have mirrors in every room. Absolutely. Even put one in your kitchen. Okay. If you don't have one in your kitchen, put one in your kitchen. I know you got one in your bathroom, but you need them in every room. But just one. You don't overdo it. One's good enough. And you definitely don't want to cross them. Okay. But bear that in mind. That is another good thing that you can do. Now, when you go to, I want to mention this, and I don't know if I've addressed this in the past, but let's talk about holy water for a minute here, okay? Now, also, I have blessed Florida water. You can buy Florida water if you know what that is I'm talking about. It's like a cologne, as a perfume. You can buy a bottle of Florida water. You can bless it, pray over it. It becomes holy water, okay? You can use that in place of just regular water. You can make your own. I've given you the recipe for that. It's on the tutorial. It's on the channel. I will probably have to do it over again one day for everybody to see it. I'll do it again, get a little bit more deeper into it. I've got better camera equipment now I can use to do that with. Okay. Florida water, yeah. Aqua de water, yeah. De Florida. Anyway, you can make it holy water. Okay. Now, if you're gonna cleanse your house, okay, you can use holy water to cleanse your house. You don't have to use salt. I use either one, salt or holy water. Depends on how much I got of either one. Okay. But you go around your house clockwise. Okay. You go to the right all the way around your house, throwing out this holy water. Okay. And you need to do this 3 times around your house. It's very important. 3 times, one for the Father, one for the Son, one for the Holy Spirit. You go 3 times around the house, okay? And that will probably seal the deal for you, all right? But here's another thing. I want you to think about this, okay? Here's something else you can do, okay? You can have at your front door or your back door, either which one you go in and out of the most. You can have a bottle of holy water there. And before you go out to go to Walmart or wherever you're going, put a little bit on you. Anoint yourself a little bit with it. Just put a little bit on your forehead on your way out. And when you come back home, it's a good thing to do this as well, because before you get all the way in the house, get that holy water, put it on you a little bit before you go in, because that way that will shake off any bad things you might be bringing with you, okay? That'll help shake it off. That helps cleanse you as you're going into a cleansed house, okay? So did you hear that little routine now? It's good to do that, all right? On a regular basis. Especially important going out, coming back in, more so than going out, okay? It's good to go out because that kind of blesses you where you're going. Nothing wrong with that. But it's even more important to do that to yourself coming in, because you don't want any bad influences or anything brought back in the house with you, okay? Yeah, Psalm 91 is good to do if you want to pray. Psalm 91 is very powerful. The 23rd Psalm is very powerful. The St. Michael's prayer is very powerful. Lord's Prayer is my favorite. That's another one. So, these prayers are good. Any of them will do. Okay. You can do that. But when you put the holy water on, you can just say, Lord bless me in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Ghost. That's all you need to say when you put the holy water on yourself or somebody else, for that matter. Unless you're really praying for them, that's a different thing. But you got to remember that's the routine, okay? But if you go around the house with it, you got to go to the right, clockwise, okay? Got to go clockwise 3 times around the house doing this, okay? It's very important. Or if you're doing the perimeter of your yard, like if you want to do your whole yard, do the whole yard the same way, okay? 3 times seals the deal. Don't forget that. It's very important, okay? Now, let's turn to iron. Let's talk about iron a little bit. Iron, now I'm talking about just regular iron, which is usually a nail, okay, folks? That's the best way you can get a piece of iron. It's a nail. It's a nail, okay? You can put iron around the house. You can just leave it laying here. You need a nail laying here and there. Don't do it on the floor. Don't leave it laying on the floor. You might step on it, okay? I'm talking about putting it up on, a table or putting it, on top of a dresser or whatever you want to. It's good to have some nails around the house, folks, because there are certain entities that hate iron, okay? And if they hate it, I like it. Okay, you can always remember that. I said that on the show the other night. That's the one good thing about evil. If you can say one good thing about evil, it's that it's predictable. You can know how to deal with it if you learn how to do that. Okay, and these are things I'm telling you tonight that you can use and do to protect yourself. Yes, you can do railroad nails, whatever iron you want to do, horseshoes. Leave some of this stuff laying around, folks. It ain't gonna hurt nothing, you know. But like I said, don't leave it on the floor. You don't want to step on it. Okay. I have my St. Christopher. Okay, and I'm getting to that in a moment. Okay, I'm going to talk about blessed items in a minute. But I'm just talking about some stuff you can do right now. Okay. And there are some instances where you can take a big nail, drive it in the ground at each corner of your house. That kind of puts an iron perimeter around your house. Okay. That's a good thing to do as well. You just put them in the ground at each corner of your house outside. Okay, you can do that. Another thing you want to do, you can put some nails like that around your front doorstep. Just put one in the ground your front doorstep. Okay, I'm gonna tell you why your front doorstep. Listen very closely. Let me tell you this: your front doorstep is the number one place they put hexes and spells, okay? And if there's a way they can bury something under your doorstep, they will do this. So pay very close and particular attention to that. Your doorway, your front doorway especially, okay? And or any kind of marks. You remember I told you I had my front door marked. I had my front doorway marked. Look out for marks. Look for anything around. Keep an eye on your house. Inventory your house every now and then and your yard as well. Make sure there's nothing there that shouldn't be there. Okay? And if you see something like that, it's best to salt it, bury it, salt it again, pray over it, and leave it there. And never go back to there. Okay? But I was going to tell you one more thing about the blessing around your house. Okay? When you go to do your house blessing, and you put the holy water out and you go 3 times around the house, it's very important that you remember, if anything or anybody calls your name while you're doing this, do not stop and answer, okay? Under any circumstances, answer until you finish, because something may try to prevent you from doing this. They may try to distract you in some way or another by calling your name or whatever the situation is. Do not let anything stop you. It's very important that you not let anything interrupt your house cleansing thing, okay? Very, very important that you do that. And it's very important that you go around 3 times, okay? 1, 2, 3. Circle 3 times around. But while you're doing that, make sure nothing interferes with what you're doing, okay? And those enjoy stealing my crystals and usually returning them. Well, they will play little tricks on you like that sometimes. They do that to aggravate you, and get you kind of anxious and nervous and stuff like that. They play little tricks and mind games with you like that, okay? But don't let them gaslight you, folks. It's all about trying to scare you, trying to get you unnerved, trying to get you worried. But it's very important that I'm giving you these and you can't remember them and you want to write them down, contact me. I'll be happy to give them to you, okay? More than happy to do so. And there are a whole lot of other little things, but we won't get into them all tonight. But that's some of the main things that you can do. That will be physical stuff that you can do against the darkness. Now, I'm going to talk about a very important factor in all this: blessed items. It can be a cross, it can be a St. Christopher's medal or St. Mary's medal, whatever you feel comfortable with. Okay, but it needs to be blessed. And you can bless them yourself, but I like it better when somebody else blesses my stuff. Okay. I will go to a priest or a preacher or a minister and have them bless that item. Okay. And I have blessed thousands of stuff over the years. Okay. It's very important that you get somebody to do that for you and keep these items close to you. And let me tell you something very important. I want you to listen close. It's much, 100% better if the blessed item you've got touches your skin. Okay, to take a look at what I've got around my neck right now. I got the seal, the star of the seven archangels. Okay, it stays right against my chest, my heart, up against my skin all the time. That's very important that you do that. Okay, unless you're going into what you think is evil or you're going to be talking about some dark evil subject, it's okay to take it out and leave it on top like this. Okay, you can leave it out, but most of the time you want it to stay touching your skin. Okay, because you're making a connection with that blessed item. Okay, it's very important that you remember that. But it doesn't matter what it is. It can be a cross. It can be a medallion. It can be a medal, something religious. You don't want to, try to bless something terrible like a Nazi swastika or something and wear that. Don't do that. That's a bad symbol. That's evil. You don't want to deal with evil, symbolic, evil stuff. We're talking about the symbolic of good stuff here, folks, okay? So you don't want to walk around with a blessed bong or anything like that, okay? There's no such thing as that, okay? You're not an item, if it is inherently evil, cannot be blessed. Let me repeat that for you again. An item that is inherently evil cannot usually be blessed. You can take the curse off of it, but it can still be a representation of evil. And you don't want a blessed item to be a representation of evil. That just don't work, okay? That's redundant. It's moronic, okay? Not only ironic, but moronic as well. But these blessed items connect you to your faith. Okay, you can't put your faith in the item. That's not what this is all about. The item is a symbol of your faith and the connection you have to your faith. Okay. Dennis and blessed swastika. Now you don't want to do that. But anyway, I'm gonna tell you what. When I was in law enforcement, I even blessed my bullets. Not because I blessed them to kill somebody, but to do good with them, hopefully, and not to kill somebody with them. You know what I mean? I wanted them to do good, to bless, and that's what this whole thing is about. It is for fostering good in this world, and not darkness or not evil. God is all about doing good stuff for good for people to for good things and doing good events for people. It's not about the bad stuff. So we got to remember that. That's the way it goes. But it's very important, though. I want to stress that again, that blessed item touches your skin, okay? Wherever you want to wear it at, on your wrist or around your neck, your ankle, or whatever the situation is. Make sure it touches your skin, okay? I want to stress that point for people who want to do that, okay? But that's another thing we'll talk about. Now, let me talk about the sea salt. Now, the sea salt's very important. It's good to put it in your room once in a while. Put it in the center of the room. Of course, lights a silver bullet can. I told me werewolves. That does not work, Blazer. I'm sorry. I tried that. Okay. Anyway, they just throw them right back at you. Okay. But anyway, the whole thing is you got to understand that the sea salt needs to be blessed as well, just like holy water is. Okay. It's got to be blessed as well, you know, and to be an effective instrument for good. You understand what I'm saying? It's got to be effective. Anyway, the whole thing in a nutshell is this is a connection to your faith and your belief. That's what empowers a lot of this stuff. Okay. Is that, and you got to remember, it's got to have that connection with you. Now, you know, we've talked about that before, but now the sea salt, the table salt's not going to work, okay, because that's mostly man-made chemical. The sea salt's what we like because it is the salt of the earth, but it has to be blessed and sanctified as well, okay? So you got to remember, that's what you got to do with it, just like you do the holy water and the holy oil. If you want to use oil, you got to do it the same way as well, okay? And remember, I want to stress this point. Do not place these items. Do not place these items in a container that has been used for any bad stuff, okay? It's not a good idea. It's a good idea to put them in containers, really, that have never been used or cleansed very well, okay? Put it that way, okay? So that's another factor that you've got to remember. Now, let's talk about certain biblical verses. There are certain biblical verses and stuff that you can get into and do. You don't have to do a whole psalm. You can do just certain physicals. Now, like if you feel like you're going into a dangerous situation and there's danger there, you can just say, you know, Lord, you have promised me that you will give your angels charge over me to keep me in all my ways. And I stand upon that promise now. When evil hears you bringing that promise up and standing on it, it doesn't like that, okay? So it's very important that you do things like that. You know, glass is only used when I break an egg and remove attachments, okay? You got to have something that's very clean, absolutely. But anyway, what I was going to say is you need, if you're going to bring up a Bible thing, it needs to be relative to what's going on with what you're doing, okay? That's important as well. In the cases of a house of cleansing or blessing, you would not want to bring up a Christmas story. That would be kind of irrelevant to what you're doing. So you need to match it to, you need to match the biblical stuff to what it is, you know, you're doing. That makes more sense, okay? I just wanted to bring that up. A lot of people, you would be surprised. A lot of people get that wrong. But anyway, you can do that as well. So there are other things you do. Now, we've talked about this before, and I want to stress this point, and I think Jessica talked about this the other day. When you go somewhere, it's not a good idea to bring souvenirs back. If you do bring something back, leave something to replace it with, or if you bring something back that you don't feel really good about, you can cleanse it spiritually with sea salt or holy water, okay? You can cleanse it, say a prayer over it, and bring it in your house. Usually okay with that because I've got a lot of items here that have to be done that way, okay? And so that's good to remember too. Yeah, thank you there. It was a great show on Jessica's channel Monday with the Harbingers of Doom. Yeah, we had a great time with that. And Jessica's one of my favorite researchers. She goes after some good stuff. Anyway, let me say this. If you're going to, use any of these items, you can place them in a box or put them in a container or whatever. It's a good idea to bless that container as well. That sort of puts a shield around your whole instrument case that you're using, okay? That's a good idea to do that as well. But we talked about, let me get back to this. We talked about taking stuff. Never ever take anything from a graveyard. That's a good number one rule. I used to warn people about that. No matter what you find out here today, and I used to teach a lot of classes and groups in cemeteries. I used to teach them how to hold cameras, how to video, and believe me, you need to know how to really use your equipment. Okay, if you don't, even if you're cryptid hunting or whatever the situation is, you need to know how to use your equipment effectively. It's very important that you learn it, learn how to do it under what conditions you need to do it with, and all that. It's very important that you do use your stuff effectively, and that includes items for cleansing. Okay. If you feel that you're running into an American Indian type thing, American Native type stuff, some kind of spirits, burial ground, all that, you can do that with the white sage. You can do it with the feather, the eagle feather, and the clamshell. You can do that whole thing with that. You can address it that way. I have done that in the past when I felt that I was dealing with Native American spirits. Okay, you take it that way because that's what these things understand. So it's good to have some of that on hand. Sage, I've got sage right here, as a matter of fact, in case you need that. Okay, but there are other cleansing plants that you can use. Rosemary is one of them. Okay, thyme is another one. Okay, there's a list of several of them that are considered holy plants that you can use. Frankincense is my favorite, by the way. Very, very powerful stuff, by the way, folks. You should always have you a bottle of frankincense oil on hand because it's very important. When they went, and they had a statue tiki idol. Yeah, I remember that. You got to be very careful how you deal with these things, and you got to understand if you're having a spiritual thing going on, how to deal with it. But the spiritual, yeah, the Palo Santo wood is very good. I've got some of that here. I keep supplies of all this on hand, okay, because it just depends on what you need and what you feel like you need there. And also, and I'm going to do a tutorial very soon on this, on the bell, the book, and the candle thing. I think I'm going to do that over again for everybody. The bell, the book, and the candle is very important. How you deal with these dire type dark spirits and what you need to do to address them. It's very important. It's a technique that's worked in the church for 1,000 years, and it works very well if you apply it the correct way. All right. But anyway, I just wanted to tell you that these are some of the things that you can physically do to work against the darkness, the spiritual darkness in this world, and keep it off your back. Okay. Keep it away from you. Keep it away from people that you love and animals that you love, and keep it out of your house and all that. Like I say, it's a very good idea that you cleanse your house and everything at least once a month. Okay. I sent to Peru and fell in love with the scent. It's really good. I love the way it smells, yeah. And it burns good too, by the way. I mean, it has a good burning smell as well. It is a natural, it's nature. We always call Palo Santo nature's incense, That's what it basically is. Anyway, it's very important that you have this stuff, put it in the box, have it ready. Do this once a month, okay? And if you feel like you need to do it between then, something's going on, somebody came in your house you didn't like, or something happened, it's a good idea to do it then, right then, and not let it keep going on and on and on. That's right. Keep yourself protected. It's your job. You are your own first line of defense, okay? We've talked about that before. It's very important to remember this is your responsibility. Nobody else is coming in to do this for you, okay? Because I've had to do this for a lot of houses, a lot of locations, for a lot of people, for a lot of years, folks, okay? For a long, long time. And that's okay, too. Got no problem with that. But you need to know how to do these things yourself, too. Don't depend on me. Dennis ain't going to always be here, okay? Or somebody else like me won't always be here. So you need to learn how to do these things for your own responsibility, okay? The safety of your own responsibility. Absolutely. So it's very important. And if you have any questions on this, you feel like, you need to ask me about them, I'll be happy to tell you, okay? That's what I'm here for. I want some feedback on it. And if you think you need to know more about that, ask more questions. Right now, you can start asking questions. Okay. Always feel free to ask questions at any time, folks. Okay. There are no stupid questions. All right. There are no stupid questions, only stupid answers. Okay, I try to not give you stupid answers. Okay, uh, but but don't feel free to ask questions anytime, and because that's what we're here for. We want you to have this knowledge. We want you to arm yourself against the darkness in this world, the bad things out there that are going to try to make life rough on you. There's nothing wrong with that at all. This is good. This is good stuff we're talking about here, not bad stuff. This is smart stuff. And like I said about what we said on Jessica's show the other day, we're not talking about being scared. Don't be scared. Be smart. Did you hear that? Don't be scared. Be smart. That's what we got to do. We got to be smart. We got to outsmart the darkness here, folks. We got to be smarter than our enemies. Okay? We got to stay on the ball on that. You'd love to go back. Let's go. Okay, I'm ready to go to Peru with you. Okay. All right. I always wanted to kick around the mountains in Peru. There you go. But anyway, that's it for the night. That's what I want to share with you. If you got any questions or anything else, I think that kind of covers most of the stuff that you can do. And it's very important, though, that, like I said, don't forget to have the mindset, to have the good and positive things in your life, to get in touch with your peace and get grounded with the earth. And the money for Peru. And I was hoping Marine would, pay us all down that way, But anyway, I know a great shaman and a great place for San Pedro ceremony too, huh? Anyway, the interesting thing is that if you apply yourself, you don't have to be the victim here. You can fight back, and there's so many different ways that you can learn to fight back. Do it with your mind, your body, your soul, and spirit. You can fight back against this stuff, and I want you to be warriors. I want you to be armed against the darkness and push back against the dark things that's going on in this world. And that dark collective I talked about at the beginning, the fallen angels, the dark collective of this world, they're your enemies, not me. They're the ones that are after you, not me. I live in a 200-year-old house, and at times back would fall off shelves. Something was random I've never had in there. Well, I want to tell you something about old houses, especially anything that's been lived in like that retains a little bit of the personalities of its former owners. It doesn't naturally mean it's a ghost. It can just sort of be like the house is kind of bent out of shape that way. You know what I mean? Do you understand what I'm saying? Memories remain there, and memories can take on kind of a life of themselves too sometimes. Absolutely. I've seen a lot of old houses and places like that, especially when you go to places where there's a lot of history and a lot that has gone on there. Even if it's been bad history, like bad trauma or pain or suffering, the memories of that stuff remain. Absolutely. I've seen that with my own eyes and experienced it in my own life. When I was a young boy, I grew up in a haunted house. But anyway, that's some stuff you can do to protect yourself against the darkness. But like I said, that mindset is very important too. That you keep your mindset right and keep your faith going, faith over fear, that works. Hold on to the light, hold the line, and go with it that way. You got to be warriors, folks. That's the number one thing I keep trying to push and get in your brain here. Okay, you got to be warriors. You don't want to be the victims in this. You do not want to be the victims, especially to this darkness that's in the world today. This dark collective that I talked about. They are out to get you, and I don't want them to do that. I don't want them to win against you. Hello, Pocket Watch. I like that name, Pocket Watch. I've always carried a pocket watch in my life. Anyway, yeah, don't forget to hit the like button here and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Now's the time to do it. What are you waiting on? And who knows, you might be one of the lucky ones to get a free membership. Okay, and like I said earlier this evening, I just dropped a great video about me being an alien hunter. Yes, you probably didn't know I hunt aliens too. Okay, and you might want to check that out if you remember. It's called The Visitation. The video is out there. It's not long. It won't bore you, definitely. I hope not. How do I get rid of it properly? What are you talking about now here? How do I get rid of what properly here? I missed that. What about getting a box in the mail? I didn't bring it in the house. It's still outside. Some kind of box. I don't like the way it looks. Well, if you have a bad feeling about it, go with that, definitely. What you want to do is salt and bury that thing. Bury it, salt it, say a prayer over it, walk away wherever you bury it. Do never go back there again. And like I said, when you're walking away, don't answer your name being called. Don't let anything distract you or stop you or make you look back for any reason. That's the way you get rid of these things. You bury it. It's sort of like giving it a natural death, putting it away, you know. Tongue out trying to tell the truth. But definitely, yeah, don't forget to hit the like button and don't forget to join if you haven't joined. But just work on X's. Well, it depends on what kind of X you got. If you got an X that's a witch, it might work. All my exes live in Texas, so I wouldn't. George told me that. Anyway, that's some stuff you can do to protect yourself against the darkness, and I'm here if you ever want to ask any questions. But you know, if you need want to do any feedback on that or whatever, that check it out. This views on the Aquarius Rising. That'll be tomorrow. Tomorrow on Aquarius Rising, I'm going to be talking about who is the false prophet from the Bible. Bible prophecy there, folks. You don't want to miss this one. It's going to be great. Who is he? What is he? What is he up to? It's very important stuff you need to know. $48 watching, only 8 likes. I can't believe that. Come on now, folks. You gotta hit that button. Show us some love here. Did you know? I don't know if I told you this. That button is good luck. Did you know that? My like button is good luck. If you hit it enough times, it will give you good luck. So you might want to try that out, okay? Absolutely. I done had several people say, I had some good luck after I hit your like button on the Hunting the Shadows. I said, well, there you go. It's kind of like winning the lottery here. Hit that ding dong. That's right. Absolutely. But anyway, my favorite thing to say is Michael the Archangel thing. Michael the Archangel, defend us this day in battle against the snares and wickedness of the devil. May God rebuke him, we humbly pray. And do thou, Prince of the heavenly host, by the divine power of God, cast into hell Satan and all evil spirits that wander throughout the world, seeking the ruin of souls. Amen. That's a good one. Demons hate it. That means I like it. But like I say, I remind you again, I just dropped a video for the Shadow Hunters Club, for the Shadow Hunt Club, about my doing some alien hunting. Yep. You might want to check it out. It's called The Visitation. And it was somewhat of a visitation. All right. It was a very interesting case, folks. Absolutely. And don't forget now, next week on Hunting the Shadows, my very special guest star will be Miss Jessica Jones, the cryptid huntress herself, will be here. And we're going to be talking psychic warfare. This stuff's going to be wild. You do not want to miss this one, man. It's going to blow your mind out of its socket. Yes, it is. All right, that's Jessica's channel. Please show it some love. And don't forget our good friend Gerald and Shiro. Please show them a little love on their channel, Midwest Night Watchers. Absolutely. I'm reading some of your stuff here, folks. They got me a hello. Yep. Watch movies and Midwest Night Watchers on Rumble, folks. Go check out the movies. Don't forget to bring the popcorn, okay? Don't forget that. It's very important. Kenny Starfox. There he is. Girl on the gong's on a roll tonight. Yes, ma'am. Also, let's not forget my good friends over at Supernatural Truth. They're doing a great job there. Thank you, mods. You rock. Yes, my mods always rock. They're the best in the business. They know how to use their wrenches. Also, my good friends at Beyond the Box and my other good friend, Bigfoot Michigan Rob, and Barb Hartman. We need to talk about her. And Howdy Pop. Please show her some love as well. And there you have it. That's my little network there, folks. That's my network. I show them support, they support me. So there you go. Texas Front Porch. Yeah, that's also Miss Danielle Diva Borland on Tea Time with the Duchess. Yep. Tea Time with the Duchess. We had a good show with her the other night. We talked about the new Pope. What do you guys think about the new Pope? Huh? Papa Pope. Good night, Blue-Eyed Bandit. The Pope, yep. Yeah, it should be interesting to see how that turns out, you know. Absolutely. There's a lot of prophecies by like Nostradamus and Edgar Casey and Mother Shipton And some of the others have talked about the final pope, the Black Pope, the one that will be the last pope that's supposed to come before the false prophet. That's what I'll be talking about tomorrow on Shanty's show, Aquarius Rising. It's some interesting stuff to look at. Absolutely. You got to remember something about and I'll be talking about this tomorrow. The one big attribute of the false prophet, he's not human, he's supernatural too. Leo's from Chicago and has Peruvian citizenship. Yeah, I know all about him. Yeah. And I think he's going to lead the church into a more progressive stance. We shall see, though. Time will tell. He doesn't seem to be as quite conservative as some of the others. He grew up on the south side of Chicago. He speaks very good Spanish. Isn't the new pope from a Creole bloodline? I don't know about that. Is he gone or gone? Do you know anything about that? Is he from a Creole? I think he spent most of his time in Peru. He's been in Peru for a long time. I had a lot of good interactions with several churches. I just stay away from them. They haven't been is that they picked an American boat because of wartime. That's a possibility. He is definitely not going to, I don't think, be an ally of Trump. Yes, he's Creole. His dad's Creole. That's what I thought. I wasn't sure. I didn't want to say on that, but that's what I thought. Yeah. But time will tell. I tell you what's going to happen, though, folks, in the future. And I talked about this on Danielle's show the other night. I feel without doubt that the lines of political and religious lines are going to very much blur in the coming years ahead. I think they're going to very much blur out on us. You're not going to tell where one begins and the other one ends. I think there's going to be a definite, very definite change in some of that. He did look like Papa Dan in the video. But there's no doubt that some of that stuff's coming down. I just don't see it being good, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't want to be a Debbie Downer here, okay, or Dennis Downer, whichever way you want to look at it. I don't want to do that. I'd rather not. But it's always the doom and gloom. Dennis is doom and gloom. I don't want to be that. I'm already accused of being too much of a demoniac. So, of course, I don't care what people say. They're going to talk about you anyway. You do good, do bad. They're going to talk about you anyway. It don't matter. And people are not going to be satisfied with you no matter which way you go. So don't worry about that. But anyway, what I was going to say, though, I don't want to be doom and gloom about everything. But I don't see roses coming up in this. I don't see unicorns dancing around in a magic mountain. No, I don't. Yeah, Pope Benedict, he did look like the Emperor Palpatine, yes. I thought he did. Boy, very distinct resemblance. There's let me say this. I might get a lot of Catholics mad at me with this, but I'm sorry. Too bad. I step on a lot of toes. I apologize, but I still step on them. But I don't know. There's an undercurrent there in some of this Catholic stuff that is dark, very dark stuff. I mentioned that on about Fatima. There's a lot. There was a cover up on that last prophecy in Fatima. And Sister Lucy, whatever her name was, I think they replaced her with an imposter. It's wild stuff, folks. But the church has a lot of conspiracies going on in it. The Catholic Church will blow your mind when you think about some of this stuff that supposedly goes on. Wild stuff. Wild stuff. I'll be talking about that tomorrow. But anyway, I appreciate you all being here tonight. This has been great. I hope you learned a little bit. I hope I was able to teach you a few things. And like I say, it's a good thing I'm not having a test after this. I might be asking test questions here. Yeah, the three prophecies of Fatima. The darkness in that church, they were looked into at Vatican. There's one of many. There's a lot of darkness in there, definitely. And it's not good. It's definitely not good. Well, thank you, Girl and Gong, for being here. Thank you all for being here. Thank you so much for your support. And thank you, Girl and Gong, for all the great memberships you've given out here. We have some new members tonight. Thank you so much. And I hope you all enjoy the video I dropped for you a few minutes back, about an hour or two ago. Go check it out if you haven't checked it out. The Visitation, one of the strangest cases I've had just recently. And yes, I do a little alien hunting along with demon and vampire and werewolf hunting and zombie hunting, ghost hunting. I do alien hunting as well. So I'll talk about that. So go check it out on The Visitation. That happened in 1960 according to the Fatima prophecy. So they say, Girl and Gong. That has a lot of that's been covered up. Go deep, go down that rabbit hole. You'll see what I'm talking about there. There's certain qualities and training needed for their end time. That's why he was voted in. I believe he's gonna definitely in the position for a purpose. Put it that way. We'll talk about that tomorrow on Aquarius Rising. So anyway, I appreciate you all being here tonight. And thank you so very much. Go check out all these fine people that we mentioned earlier. Go check out their shows and channels and their stores. Don't forget, Justice got a store. Go check out War Woman Goods. Go check out Gerald's store. And on Midwest Night Watchers, I'm going down a rabbit hole about the Pope and Fatima. There you go. You'll enjoy it. It is quite a deep hole, my friend. Quite a deep hole. Don't get lost in there, okay? If you do, text me. I'll come and find you, okay? But anyway, I appreciate you all so very much for being here. I hope you picked up some tidbits on how to protect yourself against the darkness. The darkness is rising, folks. It's rising against us. It definitely is. And we want to be ready for it. You know, what we said about, I said on Jessica's show the other day, we don't want to be scared. We want to be smart. We don't want to run. We want to be ready. Okay? So let's do that and get in that position. You won't get lost. Okay. And well, just make sure you got your compass. We always got my compass just in case, you know. But I appreciate you all so very much for being here tonight and for all the free memberships and stickers and all the support that you show. The love that you show for this channel is wonderful. It is fantastic. We are family. Absolutely. We are tribe. You are my wolf tribe, okay? When I put you in my wolf tribe, that means you're family, all right? And so don't forget that. It's very important. All right. All right. I appreciate you all so very much for being here tonight. And like I say, if you got any questions in the future, anything you want to talk about, I am always available at DennisWCarroll.com. Okay. You can reach me through there anytime. A lot of people do. I get a lot of stuff through there every day. That's at DennisWCarroll.com. Okay. And I want to thank you all so very, very much for being here tonight and sharing and hunting the shadows with us. Okay. And until we get back together again, take care of yourselves. Be careful out there. Keep your head on a swivel and an eye on your six. All right. Hold on to the light. Hold the line. All right. Faith over fear. That's the way we're going to roll. So until we get together again, then my friend, bon chance to you, bon ami. Ciao. The hunt has begun. Hunting the shadows.